You know, I would not consider myself a finesse fisherman at all, but fishing a drop shot, it's something that I've learned to get better and better with, because if you can ever find fish offshore on cover or just on a bar or wherever, you can see them on my Garmin live scope. When I'm looking out there and seeing them, this is usually the best way to catch them, because basically what happens is you get the weight on the bottom or on a limb or on a tree, and you're just basically sitting there and shaking the worm, and the worm just kind of shakes, and it gets a ton of bites. I want to talk a little bit about my setup. I almost always throw it on a spinning rod. I've got a Johnny Morris Platinum Signature Series spinning rod here. My favorite's a 7-to-1. As far as my reel goes, same Johnny Morris Platinum Signature Series on the reel. This is a really smooth spinning reel. It's the best one I've ever had. The drag, a lot of times when I'll catch a fish, I've got my drag set right. It'll give just a little bit. Spinning rod, you're not using real heavy line, so you want that, you want your drag to be really, really smooth when you're throwing a spinning presentation. Now, as far as line goes, line on a spinning rod has become so much easier over the years for me because I use braid, and either a 10, 12, or 15 pound braid. I've got Sunline Asagi on, and Asagi's is a treated line. It feels really good to you. When you get it on there, it'll be just a little stiff, but as soon as you start using it, it'll get really, really limber. And as far as the line, on this setup right here, I've got 10-pound test. Now what I've done is I've got my leader on here. This right here is still braid. My leader actually is right up here. And so then I tie a uni knot on there I've got 12-pound Sunline Sniper on there. Now, as far as my setup goes, there's two ways to drop shot. If I'm drop shotting any kind of cover, any place I'm gonna get hung, I'm gonna use, this is a cover shot hook made by Owner. This is a Strike King Dream Shot. I'm gonna use the cover shot. If I don't feel like I'm gonna get hung any, then I like an Owner mosquito hook. There's the same bait. You can do these, I mean, these are interchangeable to me. This one's in cover, this one's not in cover. So you just have to pick. I've got a 3/8 ounce down shot weight. And as far as the size of your weight goes when you're drop shotting, I mean, just what feels right. If you're fishing, you know, deep water, we'll go with something pretty heavy. If you're fishing shallow water with not much current, you can go with something pretty light. This is a 3/8. I'll use a quarter a lot. I'll use a half some, especially you get up around the Great Lakes. A half some, you got a ton of current, you might even need to go to a 3/4. So that's pretty much my drop shot setup. You don't have to be a genius to do it. You got Garmin Live Scope or your own traditional sonar. You see the fish, you drop down there. They're gonna be on small places. You're not trying to cover water with this technique. You're just dropping down and catching them.